Hello everyone, welcome to CultYap. Basically, yapping by creators about everything content creation for creators. Now, if you're thinking of, dabbling a little into this line of work, so good, great job, proud of you. But there are a lot of questions. What kind of videos are you going to make? Do you need some professional equipment? What if you spend all this money and then you decide you want to change your mind? First of all, breathe. Second of all, listen to our guest and her content creation journey and let it inspire you. She's a digital marketer by day, content creator by night. She rose to fame with her humor content, her beauty content, and she's on IG, she's on TikTok. She's focusing on beauty, fashion, home, and living. Nicole, welcome to CultYap, girl.
Yeah, round of applause. Yep.
I'm so excited to sit on this couch and yap about your whole journey getting to where you are right now, the content creator that you are, the beauty queen that you are right now, okay? So let's rewind and go back to the start. What inspired you to become a content creator?
So there's no inspiration.
So honest.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm Chinese, first of all.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, I finished studying in London,
Mm-hmm.
my degree, and I had been posting a bunch of pictures on Instagram. This is back in like 2015, 2016.
Yeah.
And back then, coffee scrubs were a thing. Were you young enough, old enough?
I was old enough. I was making my own coffee scrubs at home.
Okay, right. So this brand contacted me and they were like, can we send you something for free? And I was like, as a Chinese person, I was like, free?
For
Who?
real?
No one! So obviously I did a review and then more and more of these things came in, and then suddenly a company was like, can we give you free stuff and also give you money to give you the free stuff? I was like, there's a real career opportunity here for me,
Yeah, the Chinese person you were shaking.
Exactly.
Like, shaking in your seat.
And so it wasn't really something that I intended to do. And back then, social media wasn't really a thing. There was no industry.
Yeah.
There weren't many people. People were just doing it for fun, actually. And then the industry started coming up. So I stumbled into it by accident, as of life, it's just an accidental career thing.
It's been 8 years and you're here right now.
Yes, I have, yeah.
So what was, apart from the coffee scrub video, do you remember like one of your first like legitimate videos as a content creator?
I have no idea. So I got some of these questions beforehand and I was thinking about it in the car on the way here and I cannot remember for the life of me other than the coffee scrub video.
Okay, but I'm assuming you kind of started out focusing on like beauty stuff. Yeah?
Yeah, it was mostly beauty stuff and skincare things and fashion. So that was it, yeah.
Okay, so being a consumer of your content, over the years, I followed you like for ages. I've told you, I've watched some of your videos from like years before of you like moving into your apartment.
As you should.
Painting. Yeah, it was so good and I loved it so much, right? So I have seen your growth as a content creator, as a viewer, right?
Yeah,
I've seen it. But I've also seen the difference in your content, what you're actually doing videos about. Your format has changed like quite a number of times.
Yeah.
How did you approach that growth as a content creator?
I think so. When I was first on Instagram and it was during COVID period and I wanted to transition into TikTok.
Yeah.
So at the time I had maybe like 4,000 followers and I was like, what can I do to go viral on this thing? So I thought, first of all, I look haram as hell. Right? I've got piercings and tattoos and I'm Chinese. Second of all, I can't speak a word of Malay. So during COVID, I actually couldn't really speak Malay very well.
But wait, your TikTok content
It's all Malay.
Yeah.
Yes. So I was like, what if I did makeup videos in Malay when I couldn't speak Malay as a Chinese person who looks haram? I was like, I think that's a pretty cool niche to like go into, and not a lot of people can do it, So I started off doing makeup videos saying mga draw, mga fill in, mga color, and I was just hantam je, whatever words that I knew, I hantam. And I told myself, because it was complete lockdown and I gave myself 30 days and I said, if I do a video every day for 30 days, I'm sure one of these videos will hit 1 million likes.
Facts.
1 million likes, 1 million views. Sorry, that one a bit too much. But I think it was my third or fourth video that hit 1 million views. And then it completely snowballed from there. So it was a very interesting process to see because my Instagram content was very like, I guess there's not a lot of my personality that was in it because, Instagram is a little bit more polished.
It's very like aesthetic.
Exactly.
You gotta look pretty. Everything's gotta fit. The colors gotta go together. Yeah.
So TikTok was a platform that was like a lot more organic and a lot more fun to create content on. And so that was how my niche changed from doing, well, it didn't change so much, but it went from beauty to being more like a sit down and talk story time kind of content.
And also more personality as well, because like you're talking more, everyone's getting to know you, your life, what you like to do, like on your free time, even like your stories as well. Yes, she's a storyteller, okay?
I am.
So when you did like start out, like for example, you said that coffee scrub video, right? What were you using? Let's get technical. In terms of like your actual tools, what were you using?
Yeah, my iPhone. Until now, I think even for TikTok, people still use iPhones to film the content. Somehow the organicness reaches out to people a lot more. So I did transition to using like cameras, but then I realized nowadays, doesn't really work with people, and it costs so much money to like upkeep, and then every year you gotta upgrade. Then I gotta upgrade my phone and my iPad, you know, so and my laptop. So I'm like, you know what, camera is alright. I can stick to my iPhone for now. So yeah, not so much gear wise.
Okay, so do you, because there is a trend of like content creators going super profesh, like, you know, with the digicams and with like, you know, proper DSLRs and, you know, recording their content, even at events with like those big cameras, right? Did you ever feel like a moment of, should I be doing this?
Nah.
Nah.
I think, you know, what's one thing for me that was really interesting was that I went viral when I was 28. So I was much older when that happened, and I think I've settled a lot into who I am. And so now I'm not so like insecure and not so easily affected by what other people are doing. So I think that's on my side. You know, as you get older and older, you start farting in public when you're 60 because you're so unbothered with life. So I'm on my way. I want to be that person that just farts in public, you know. But for now, I'm just like not so affected with whatever camera gear people are using. I'm just like, you guys do you. I'm okay with my iPhone over here by myself.
Yeah, I'm hoping you get there. I hope you get to the point where
Let's
you're farting
get there together. Me and you. We'll make a little chorus, you know.
How to fart in public before 60.
Yes.
Okay, but so you're telling me, let's say if you did go viral when you were younger, it would have been a bit different. You would have been a little bit affected.
Yeah, for sure. I think like, you know, comments that people send in are also really like, they can affect you a lot. So the comment that I mostly get that's negative on TikTok is that I look like a man.
What?
Yeah. Okay?
Wait, what do you mean?
I'm a gorgeous woman, okay?
Yes, you are. You're a whole lot of women. Okay, what in the world?
Yeah, so that's something I commonly get is that my face looks like a man. But then when I click into these profiles, they're like really young kids, right? They're just making fun of me. Then they have Roblox as their profile picture and stuff. So I'm realizing like, hey, I'm letting these like 12-year-old kids affect my self-esteem. That's so lame and not attractive of me. Yeah. So I was like, I'm very happy that I'm much older now, and I'm just like, you know what, these things are like really bodo.
I so did. Because you know, I understand though, some people have like very like masculine features. It's completely normal, but I'm struggling to see it in your face. You look like a porcelain doll.
Oh, thanks. I mean, you don't have to lie until like that.
I'm not lying. I don't lie. I only spit facts, okay?
But yeah, you know, these things were they were more like things to laugh at with my friends as opposed to things to feel insecure about, you know? So I'm very happy that I'm at a much more older age where I can brush it off. Yeah, I'm happy about that.
That's so great. I'm still in shock that you said that.
Me too.
Oh my god, you Roblox kids, go back to playing Roblox.
Yeah,
okay?
Exactly. Get on your iPad. Don't be on TikTok. It's not for you.
Okay, so like I mentioned earlier, you've kind of made this shift, like this own journey of yours in content creation. I have noticed that, you know, you still do a lot of beauty content.
Yeah.
I still watch you for that. But once you recently made like a huge decision in your personal life, you got your own place.
Yeah.
You got your own house, you're making big girl moves.
Yeah.
Okay?
Adult with children money.
Plants, your plants are
Child with adult money. Adult with children money. Something not right there.
Yeah, so how was it scary to make that switch to like kind of, you know, change the direction of your content? Because people did start following you for your beauty content. That's why you went viral on TikTok.
Yeah. Actually, the beauty content was dying down. So it's only so long that you can milk a specific niche before people start to get bored of it. And actually, I was going through like a plateauing phase when it came to creating content. I realized that these weren't engaging with my audiences anymore, and so I got lost. I was just like, for a moment, I completely stopped posting stuff on TikTok because it was like really giving me a lot of fatigue to figure out what is going to be the next relevant thing. And I felt like I had always known and believed in my content, and I always believed in myself, and I think my confidence got shaken.
Understood.
And I don't think that's ever happened to me before. So in my career, it's always been kind of like an upward trajectory, and it's always been going.
Sorry, somebody.
Who farted?
Somebody sneezed. Somebody in the background
Oh,
sneezed.
okay, I see.
That was so funny, right? Okay, so let's start back from your confidence taking a hit.
Yeah, so my career has always been moving towards an upward trajectory, and that was the only time that I feel like it plateaued. So it wasn't like it went down or anything, but I think it was very difficult for me to accept that I wasn't always on the way up. And then at that point, my motivation had been like, oh, now I need to try and get it back again. So it stopped being about actually making the content and trying to regain the same amount of trajectory that I was doing before. And I can feel the intention of the thing that I was doing wasn't right. And so the chi, you know, and the spirituality of the whole thing, it wasn't flowing anymore. And it definitely didn't yield me the results that I wanted because the intention that I was setting for it wasn't in the right place exactly. That's what I think when I look back on it.
Okay.
So when I was thinking about doing the home content, I had no idea how people were going to react to it. All I knew was that it was something that I really loved doing, and I love interiors. And I knew that it was content that I would be really happy to make, because sometimes putting makeup on every day, sitting in front of your table, messing up the whole thing, cleaning up the whole thing, it was so difficult. But I could show up to my apartment in my baju koya and everything. And I could just film my tiles and film the contractors, and I knew that it would become really good content, and I don't need to try as hard. And because I think my intention was set in the right place, where it became about something that I love to do again, and not about chasing the followers and the engagement, that the content actually resurfaced into something that people enjoy to watch. So that was a really interesting transition for me, because I never had my confidence rocked when it came to my work before. And then I realized how much your innate belief in yourself and trust in yourself, and also having the right intentions when you do things, determines how successful you are at something. And so that was why I think the home content took off well. It's because everything aligned again, and now I'm happy, back to being happy making content.
Yeah, I can definitely say I can feel your passion, and I can see your passion for interior design through your content, because you are really showing the things that if you enjoy interior design, you're showing the things that another person would definitely want to see, you know? And making it aesthetic.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, so you take all the nitty gritty and you still make it look so pretty while getting that information out there.
Yeah.
So good on you, girl. Thanks. I love watching your beauty content. I love watching your now content. Whatever you do after this, I'm gonna love it too.
Kid content.
Oh!
Now we just got food baby, okay? No real baby.
I thought we were about to get a reveal or something.
We only got bakute baby, chicken rice baby right now, you know.
Okay, so would you say that you now, would it be a stretch to say that you kind of know what works and what doesn't work for you?
I think it's not really determined by you. It's always determined by the algorithms and the audiences that watch it. So that's something that I feel like is a really big struggle for content creators, is that you have no control over the direction of whether people are going to like something or not like something, you know? Especially with nowadays, I feel like you have to be really organic and very original with the content that you come up with. So if you're following a trend, I mean, people, now you have to inspired by, you know, you have to quote or credit all the people who you are inspired by to use the kind of content that they're doing. So you have to try and come up with something originally that's your own. But if it's original, how are you supposed to know whether it works or not with
audiences?
Yeah.
It's so exhausting, and also coming up with original ideas, it's honestly mentally stressful. It takes up a lot of the time, apart from shooting and editing, you know, you need to have great ideas. And on top of that, the consistency that comes with it, that is so tiring, because the discipline, you need to keep posting. Like you said, you were set to make 30 days of videos, non-stop just to get there, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so if you want to get up there, it's something you need to be doing
all the time.
All the time.
And the thing about it is that everybody has an aesthetic home, or everybody knows how to do makeup. So it's you have to find a way to set yourself apart from everybody else. And then to really engage with people online, I feel like the main thing that they're looking for is authenticity. So you have to be yourself, and you also have to have a skill that is better than other people, right? So now you need to have personality, you need to have authenticity, you need to have a talent. But then that's not enough. Because for me, what does authenticity mean? Right?
Yeah.
Does it mean that you cry on camera, which, oh my God, I'm too old to do this kind of thing, okay? My God, to cry on camera is not it for me. So I'm not about to share problems with my relationships, my family, my friendships. I don't want to air out my dirty laundry to people online. So I find that I'm trying to find a very, I guess almost strategic way for people to get to know who I am and feel that I'm genuine and authentic, but also be able to keep some things to myself because my privacy is like really important to me, and I find humor is like the best way to do that.
Yeah.
And so humor has always been my shield, but it's also been a way to let people look into me and look into my personality and know who I am.
But not too much.
But not too much, because I'm not making jokes about my family or my relationships. I'm making jokes about contractors or, so that's the combination of everything. It's authenticity, it's your personality, it's humor, and it's also the talent or the skill that you have. And I think putting that together and mixing in a big pot, and that's the only way you can get somewhere, unique with the content that you put out anyway.
Yeah, you're so right. Even watching you, I know, I feel like I kind of know who you are.
Yeah.
Because you really do share the things you really like to do. Apart from beauty and your house stuff, you've been going surfing.
Yeah.
Not just that, you also share your love for skating.
Yeah.
And even now I know that you're trying to move to skateboarding.
Yeah. Oh,
I know. You see, this is what I'm saying. I still get that authenticity from you.
Yeah.
Even though I don't really know what's going on in your personal life.
Yeah.
I don't really know who your family is.
Yeah.
I still know, I guess, the essence of you. I want to believe I know the essence of you, right?
Yeah.
That's so great. Thank you for creating great content, Nicole.
Thanks for engaging with my great content.
You know what's up
on this podcast right now.
Okay, now we have to agree, right, that the industry is saturated with content creators. It's so easy for people to, kind of pick up their cameras and start recording, which is great.
Yeah.
But it's also, some might say it's not that great, especially for content creators that are already in the industry. So maybe you can give some advice, because you've been here a while. How do you stand out? How do you stand out? It's such a huge question. Or how do you at least figure out, what's the process in figuring out how to stand out?
I mean, I think, everybody says you need a niche, but it's 100% true. You need to find a place in the world in which there is a demand in which you can supply to that is kind of uniquely your own, but also still relatable and what people are looking for out there. So I think for me, the way that I do it is personality, right? So you can find a niche through the way you edit your videos, or you can find a niche through I think cooking is a really good example. Have you ever seen the Everything Butter guy before?
Yes! Oh my god, I love him!
I love that guy so much!
Every time he makes the chili butter crisp thing.
I love butter. I could eat butter with a little bit of bread on it, okay? So butter is and the way that he does every single episode only to do with butters, and he did sweet butters and savory butters. That was such a great idea. So
he started his own butter brand.
Exactly. Oh yeah, I know.
He started his own butter brand.
That's such a great transition
after
that.
Yeah.
But he is not selling personality the way I'm selling personality. He's actually selling almost like an episodic running gag, I would say, that people will always come back to view more because of the way that he's done his content. So there are many ways in which you can carve a niche for yourself. I think personality is a pretty difficult way, because you have to be quite extroverted and you have to really put yourself out there. And unfortunately, you have to be kind of cringy to put your personality out there.
It is what it is.
I don't know.
It is what it is.
My skin is so thick right now. I can shoot a bullet, you still cannot get through my skin. So there are many ways. Doing running gags, episodic things, or personality. That's probably the best.
So do you think one is better than the other?
No, absolutely not. I mean, the thing is that there are extroverted creators and there are introverted creators that are on the platform. And I think you don't need to be extroverted to be a content creator, You just need to find a very nice sweet spot that suits you, and then you can go from there. You don't have to be talking in your videos if you don't want to do that, but that's just the route that I've taken.
Yeah, actually a lot of content creators are introverted. You will see this if you attend events.
Yes.
Yep. A lot of them actually keep to themselves.
Yeah.
Because it is scary. It's easy to talk to a camera. It's easy to record yourself in a room. But doing it in real life is a whole different ballgame.
Yeah. Exactly.
Being social is hard. But you mentioned, you have to have a niche. But some would say that you're kind of boxing yourself in. And you're not allowing yourself the space to kind of explore different things. How do you feel about that?
It's true. It's very true. I mean, in some sense, you say, I skate and I surf and I roller skate. But I also do home content, but I also do beauty content, but I also do dance content.
Yes.
So everything is all mixed into one. And it's what? I realized that if I just focus on skating content, that profile will probably take me really far. If I just focus on beauty content, that profile will probably take me very far. But why I chose personality as the thing to go for is because I want people to follow me for me. I don't necessarily want people to follow me for only one specific skill. And so if I inject personality into everything that I do and I make every video kind of like slapstick and funny, there will be a way to engage where people like me for me. And then no matter what it is that I do, they will just be happy to watch the content, you know? So that's the problem with having a niche. You do box yourself in, but then you have to make certain sacrifices because sometimes people just want to follow people who teach you how to surf. And then if you're also posting about your bikini body and everything, people might not want to follow that, you know? So it's a give or take, you know?
Okay, so you've chosen to put your personality out there through the things that you love, right?
Yeah.
But other content creators, they take the route of, you know what? Who I am on social media is going to be completely different from who I am in real life. So it's a bit jarring when you meet these type of content creators in real life because you're expecting a certain energy because you watch them and then they come up and they're completely different. Like, what do you think of that kind of, like, those kind of content creators?
I mean, too bad lor.
So you think
social media is social media. I mean, everything it's layers upon layers of trying to present yourself in a certain way to people. I think we're all old enough and we have been around the internet long enough to know that these things aren't really truly real and genuine and authentic, you know? So everything that you watch online, it's better to take it with a little pinch of salt. I mean, I prefer to be as genuine as I am online as I am offline. But it could be like, what if that day I have a bad day, I argue with my boss, and then I come to Burger King, I want to order my burger, and then you got my order wrong, you know what I mean? Sometimes, you know, I'm scared of this. Like, there has been a girl where she has given, like, I went to Burger King and order, and I come back, and then it's very sweet. She put a little note to say like, hi, I watched your content, she gave me free nuggets, but what if I was on my period and that day I scold her for getting my order wrong or something? She doesn't say something to me, you know? So you have to watch your online and offline personalities, and there are pros and cons to it. Honestly, I feel like the downside to this is not having privacy and the fame. The fame is actually a bit of a downside to the business as a whole for me.
I'm so glad you brought that up because a lot of people get into content creation for the fame. They want it until you experience it yourself and you're like, I kind of wish I wasn't in this. Are you afraid of getting cancelled?
Honestly, no.
No?
Honestly, I just feel like these kind of things, they wane, right? They come and they go. And social media trends come and go. And I feel like as long as you're authentically who you are and you're careful about who you are online, you will be fine. Sometimes these things will just pass. Like, you know, there have been many controversies online for a lot of creators out there. But I don't think the audiences should turn to these people as like role models. Right? I'm like just a bimbo making makeup content. What do you want me to talk about? You want to know about world politics from a girl that does eyeliners, you know, up to like up to my freaking hairline, you know? So it's like we need to understand that some people are in certain niches for a reason and they're passionate about certain things. And if you want to follow things like world politics or you want to follow people who are influential in like different ways, then it's better to follow those people who know what they're talking about.
I get it. I think the common thing that everyone thinks is if you're in the public figure, in the public space, there's some sort of like a responsibility that you have to take upon yourself to influence. But like you said, if you're a beauty influencer, like you're not going to have any business talking about like, you know, politics or anything else.
I mean, like I struggle a lot with my body weight when I was growing up. So that's something that I talk about a lot. And I had struggles as a woman, and that's something I talk about a lot. And I feel like I have somewhat of a responsibility and a duty to do that, but it is also not bestowed upon by other people, forcing me to do it. It's just something that I want to share with people and talk to people about. So I think it's very important that it relates to you when you want to talk about something important and that you're well versed enough to be able to disseminate information that is true and that is meaningful and relevant to yourself. And so I don't think all of us should be talking about every single issue because not all of us are very aware of what's truly going on in the world sometimes. But that's my take on it. I want to cancel me.
I agree though, like, you know, if you are not confident speaking about something, you shouldn't, because after a while, if you're doing it just for the sake of doing it, it's just like performative.
Yes, exactly. It's not authentic anymore, you know, and you're just doing it so that you won't get cancelled by people, which again is not the right way. The intention is not set in the right place for it.
I completely agree. Have you ever been in a situation where you wanted to lose your shit, but then you kind of held yourself back and was like,
Yeah, there have been a couple of times where I think I've been accused of certain things. Like, you know, I talk about like gaining weight and then people would come after me and say this is like fat phobic because I'm not big enough for it, you know, big enough to consider that I feel like not attractive just because I put on some weight.
But it's personal to you.
Exactly.
Though.
So I think that it's relative to every single person. And I think that's what I mean by being old enough to be on these platforms, because when I was younger, I would actually reach out to these people and try to talk to them and say that, hey, I didn't mean it in this way. And that wasn't what I was intending to do. And there was no arguing with these people. You know, there's no way to get your point across. They will just perceive you however they want. But then they will forget about who you are in 2 weeks. They also won't care. And here I am, like really destroyed over my self-image and destroyed over the fact that I made another girl feel this way when I was actually struggling with my own feelings about it. And I think it's relevant to myself, what I want to share. So sometimes you got to take things with a pinch of salt and not be too affected by these comments out there because they will come and go and there's nothing you can do about it.
Have you ever felt responsible? Like for, you know, I'm pretty sure you have all these people in your DMs going like, Nicole, I watch you for this. And then they start, you know, sharing their stories and, you know, they're relating to you. And maybe there are some times where you don't have time to reply everybody or, you know, you don't have the energy.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes people rant and you don't even have the mental space to deal with your own things. And then people are dumping stuff on you.
Right.
Have you ever felt maybe a little bit like, oh my God, I should be replying everybody. I feel a little bit guilty. Or were you more towards like, you know what? I gotta deal with my own things.
Yeah, I'm coming back to the farting in public thing. It's like as I get older, I'm less and less bothered. I realize that the way to like be like world peace, right? Let's just say the way to move forward isn't really to be a public figure on the top of the whole power structure, trying to tell people what to do. It's every individual person for themselves. And so I realized that if I want the world to be a better place, I have to be a better person. That's how it has to be. So if I'm too bothered by how other people feel about it, and I'm trying to busy my time trying to help other people become better versions of themselves, that is not actually the right principle that I want to follow. I think it's better for me to try and do the right thing and think about myself. And if everybody did that, I think the world would be a much better place.
Quote that.
Malaysia. I don't know if I have the height for it, but I have the brains for it.
As you heard from her mouth herself. Okay. So, lost my train of thought. Give me a second. Okay. So, tell me honestly, straight up, what is something about content creation that you absolutely hate? And if you could, you would change?
My privacy. Yeah, I think so. I mean, really, the two downsides to content creating for me is fame and privacy. That's, as I get older, those are the two things that I don't really like. So, for example, also my ability to control the public perception of who I am. Yeah. So there was once where I went for a wedding dinner with a bunch of childhood friends, and she was showing me a news article of a girl who invited 18,000 people to her wedding, and that the hotels couldn't even cater to it, that they had to rent a convention hall for her wedding. So she had all the movie posters of like Mr. and Mrs. Smith, but it's like Mr. and Mrs. Tan, you know what I mean? And they would recreate all these movie posters, and the guy came in with like 30 stormtroopers, and the girl descended from like the stage in a bed as Sleeping Beauty.
It was a performance.
Yeah, and then they had like a background video. Instead of doing like a regular wedding video, they actually recreated some like K-drama love scene. And she told me, "Dad, I'm sure you want this kind of wedding." And I'm like, "Excuse me, are you crazy?" And no matter how much I tried to tell this friend that this is as far away from the thing that I would want, she'd be like, "But you like attention, well, of course this is what you really want to do."
No.
Yes, and so I'm here in real life, in flesh, trying to defend myself against somebody who already feels like they know who I am because of my social media accounts.
Oh my God.
And at some point I was like, there's no point to argue with these people. So I was like, yeah, you know what? I'll invite 20,000 people and I'll beat her. So I have to make jokes to like feed into this thing. And I realized that this is a loss of my own ability to control my image around people. And I find that like that, as I get older, is something that I don't really enjoy about doing social media actually.
Yeah, I actually really relate to that. So even when I'm back home, like with relatives and people that I don't really meet often, everyone assumes that if there's a camera there, I want to be in front of it.
Yeah, right.
You know, but when the reality of the situation is outside of work,
you're so sick of it.
I'm so sick of it. I don't want anything to do with it. You know, I don't want to be the one like trying. People are like, "Oh my God, you take the video because you know how to take videos." And I'm like, pay me. Every time I'm holding a phone, it's because I'm getting paid.
Yes,
so
exactly. It's work.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't understand.
They don't get it. They think like, "Oh my God, she will do it."
Yeah.
Because you know, that's what she does for work. You know, it's gonna be great. Oh my goodness, I completely relate. That's so annoying. Do you still talk to this friend?
Oh. We shall find out.
Is she invited to your actual wedding?
We shall find out.
Okay, let's go back to your social media. I have noticed with the new age of content creators, right? Everyone's really striving for more followers, which makes sense because you're building a business.
Yeah.
Getting more followers, that's how you scale your business.
Yeah, right.
But I think there is a very obvious difference in the OG content creators where they have tried to build a community. It's not just about the followers, not just about the numbers.
Right.
Where do you stand on that? Is your community important? Do you see your followers as your community?
Yeah, I think I come back to the individual thing a lot. So I think chasing fame is like a really bad way to go about. Like you it's like starting a business and chasing money and fame from your business. You know what I mean? Nobody's really gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna come up with this new tech whatever so that I can be famous as the person who came up with it. Like if that is your intention, you're never gonna get there because you're not actually caring about the thing that you're doing itself.
Yeah.
So I think that chasing fame is not good. Building a community is also a really good thing, but I think that sometimes it's, to me, a bit self-serving. It's like, me, I'm the one, here's my community. But I realized that the community gives back to me. So obviously, most social media people, they like attention, right? Like me, I really like attention. So I'm a weird kid, right? I was a really weird kid in high school. I didn't get a lot of attention from friends or sometimes from my family. So when I built up this following, I realized that the followers made me feel like I was normal. And it was what the followers gave to me that mattered to me. And they made me feel like, even though I was really crazy with this makeup and my mom couldn't understand why I was coming home looking like someone from Kiss like every day, my followers made me feel like it was a normal thing and they embraced that part of who I was. And so I thrived in that environment, not because I got to build the community, but I feel like the community gave a part of like attention lah, like, you know, and in the form of love and support back to me that I wasn't really getting from people in my real life at that point of time. Or maybe I was a bit too like attention seeking when I was younger. Now I'm not so much like that anymore. But yeah, it was like the community gave me a lot of love and support, and I think that's why it helped me a lot.
Of course, they're choosing to literally follow you and watch your content. So, you know, they literally love you.
Yeah.
They love you, Nicole.
What the hell, man? It's like I have over 200,000 followers on TikTok. But like, if I imagine if I had 1 ringgit and I put it all on the floor, like what is that? You can't even quantify the number of people, and you cannot even use your brain to understand how many people. If you see 280,000 people in front of you, have you ever been to a concert with more than 20,000 people?
Exactly.
So that's an insane amount to have follow you, you know?
Yeah.
So it's cool. It makes me feel like, wow, that something that I'm doing is relating to people. And it's not so much, what I can give to them, but what they're actually giving to me in return, you know?
Yeah, people don't, I feel like people have lost sight of what numbers actually are. Because even when I was starting out and I had like 10,000 followers on TikTok, I was like, oh my God, like everyone else is like doing so much better, and I was stressing out. And then somebody mentioned, dude, imagine 10,000 people actually coming in front of you. And that's insane.
Yeah.
I'm like, that helped me.
280,000 people give me 1 ringgit each.
Girl.
If they give me 4 ringgit each, I'll be a millionaire. Hey. Like, just think about it. So, you know, later my Maybank QR, you put here.
Yeah, it's right here, somewhere here.
Just put here, yeah? 4 ringgit, very cheap only.
I love that you brought up your mom and coming home looking a bit crazy. Were your parents always down with the content creation?
Absolutely not.
Okay, tell me how did you manage their expectations and how did you navigate that situation?
They obviously cannot really fully understand it, but I think as
much as
now, but as much as they don't get it, I think they have given as much support to me as they can. So it's constantly a game where I sit down and talk with mostly my mom about it. And I think she's concerned about the image and whether the image will corrupt me and my values, and whether I'll become more narcissistic and care about these things. And so it's a very delicate conversation to have with my mom where I cannot feed into her narrative by saying, you don't understand what I'm not like that you know?
Yeah.
Like I have to sit down and have very lengthy, gentle conversations with her about it, explaining to her that I understand what the downsides are of having a career like this, and I understand that I will lose, like I said, like my ability to control my image even with my mom, even though I see her every day and we still live together and she sees me every day and I talk to her about all my hopes and dreams and my relationships with my friends. Sometimes she has a skewed perception of who I am, and I cannot fault her for that. you know? So it's a very delicate balance of trying to like please your parents, but also do what you want, you know? Yeah, but it's been good. I like love my mom and dad. I think they are doing their best to accept it, and that's all I can ask for from them.
Dude, I thought you were going to tell me that you're so worried about the stability of this career. What am I going to do 10 years down the road? But that was so different.
Yeah.
That was so vulnerable. Thanks for sharing that.
No worries. Yeah, I love them a lot. And I don't think they're so worried about that. I think they know that I'm like really career focused. I think a bit too much. In fact, they're like, I think you need to slow down. So I don't think they're so worried about that actually.
She's working late because she's a content creator.
Yes, because I'm a singer.
You're a content creator. Yeah. Oh, she's a dancer.
Yeah, I'm a dancer.
She's a dancer. Okay, so if you were to meet somebody new and they're saying, hey, I'm thinking of doing content creation full time. Like I really want to, you know, dive straight in.
Right.
What would you tell them?
So I think you can impart a lot of skills onto people. The same way, like I guess if you were to apply for a job, the employers are not really looking for you to have all the skills. They're looking for you to have something about who you are. That's important. And so if somebody wants to get into content creating, I would care more about who they are as a person. And so if you really want to do it, you have to be resilient, right? Like that's the first thing. You have to be consistent and disciplined with the way that you create content, because your first video is not going to go viral, and you may be working at it for a very long time and nobody will be engaging with it, and you have no way to measure the success of your videos even though you like it very much yourself. So you have to have a lot of resilience and a lot of discipline. You have to grow a thick skin and be cringy. Like, unfortunately, everybody has to start off that way, you know? Sometimes the kind of things that I talk about online are not even the things that I find really funny, but I know it engages with audiences. Like, I prefer to be a lot more witty and sarcastic and dry, but it doesn't really translate well on camera. I'll just be insulting everybody.
Yeah! People just want to be like, oh my gosh, she's so mean!
Yeah, exactly! So I have to like use a very slapstick humor to kind of engage with my audiences, and it does make me cringe a little bit when I watch back these videos and I edit them, and it's just like listening to my voice is so... But you have to be kind of cringy, you know, but you need to have your self-esteem in check. Like I said, as I get older, it's a lot easier to like be not like have a barrier up and not be so affected by these things, but you have to have all these things. You need to be resilient. You need to have like some thick skin on. You need to know who you are very well. You need to know that you're not chasing fame. There's so many things involved, but I think it's more important to me that you have a character and you have the right kind of character to make social media work for you. And then the skills can come later on, your camera, your gear, whatever, you know, your niche, you can figure it out later on very easily.
She said everything that needed to be said.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
I care about the heart.
Yes.
Yeah, that's me.
You gotta be real.
Yeah.
You gotta be authentic.
Yeah.
You know, nobody wants a fake one in here.
Nobody wants that.
Okay, so Nicole, reflecting on your whole content creation journey when you started, 8-9 years ago, what is something that you've learned or picked up that you will continue to bring with you as this industry evolves and more content creators come into the scene? Like, what's something that you will hold on to?
It's a very good question. It is a very good question, actually. What's something I will hold on to for?
Like, as in, like, in your content creation journey as a content creator, like, you know, because you're going to be here, like you're in here already and there are more people coming in, right? So from what you've learned so far, what is something that you will stick by while you continue this journey and people are still coming in?
Right. I mean, it is authenticity at the end of the day. I think it is not just that you have to be authentic and that your content has to be authentic. It's that, how do I explain this properly? I feel like your intention. The intention. I keep repeating the same things over and over again, but I do feel like these things are really important. The intention that you set when you come out to do something is very important. You cannot set fame and having money and all these kind of things. I want to get free products as your intention, because then the path in which you choose to do these things is not going to be as authentic as you think. So even the journey that you go on has to be very authentic. You have to love what you do. You have to understand the kind of sacrifices that you have to make. You have to be very resilient about it, and you have to stay true to who you are. And you cannot allow things outside of you to affect you, because the only person who can judge whether or not what you're doing is authentic is yourself, you know? And if you are losing sight of who you are and what is real to you, you have no way to come back to yourself at the end of the day. So I think authenticity is something that I will keep with me all the time, even in my real life, aside from content creating. I think that's super important to me.
Don't go so far that you can't come back.
Yeah.
Right?
Don't hilangkan diri, okay?
I love that. Nicole, thank you so much for sitting on this couch and yapping with me.
Thanks for having me. It was so fun.
Yes,
let's do it again.
Oh, let's do it again. Oh my god, another episode? An extending?
Episode 2? Episode 3?
Season 2, maybe.
Oh, it'll be me and you all the time.
Just nobody else, right?
Nobody
Just
else.
you. Again, thank you so much. I'm sure everyone has taken some great information back from this episode. This is Nicole. Go and follow her at Nictionary.
Yeah.
And we will be back with another episode of Cult Yap.
Yeah.
Bye.